Hi friends, welcome back. My name is Addie Gunnan of Well Loved Clothing. Welcome to my channel if you're new, but this is my studio, and if you've seen any of my thrift flips, you know that that means this is a thrift flip. But I'm super excited for today's flip because it looks a little different from my normal flips. So usually I have the 3 pieces in one video, but today I'm doing a collaboration with Tiffany from Little Toh. Go follow her. She is amazing. She has the most incredible thrift flips, and when she reached out to do a collab surprise thrift flip, I absolutely jumped on it because I've never done a thrift flip challenge before, and I'm super inspired by her. So we both had $10 to thrift a couple of pieces that we were gonna send to each other and do a surprise thrift flip with. So it's a little bit like an improv, kind of like my thrift swaps where I get a box from somebody and style them up, but instead of styling things, I'm going to be flipping things. So in this incredible little box, there are, I have no idea how many pieces or what pieces that I'm going to change into one amazing cohesive look. So it might be one piece, it might be several pieces by the end, and I'm really excited, but I'm also super nervous because I usually have some time to think of what I want to create something out of, or I get an idea and then search for something to make it. So starting with the piece is going to be really interesting and super fun. So before I jump into this box, here is Tiffany to tell you a little bit more about her channel and all of the amazing thrift flips she does. Tiffany, take it away.
My name is Tiffany and my YouTube channel is On The Go with Little Toh. I'm a dancer, singer, actor by profession, but I started my YouTube channel last year to document all of the projects that I was sewing and upcycling. I am so excited to be doing this thrift flip challenge with Addie. When I first started my channel, I used to binge watch her videos because her videos were goals for what I wanted my videos to be like, so this collab is truly a dream come true.
Oh, don't you just love her? So when you're done watching this thrift flip, go see the pieces that I sent to her and see how she transforms them into an amazing look. But we are going to jump right into this box and see the amazing pieces that she sent me and see what we can get inspired by. So let's do it. Okay, it took me way too long to figure out how to open this box because it's just an interesting box, and I think it's reused, so we love sustainability, gals, but we're gonna crack into this, and I'm so excited! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, she wrote the cutest little note. Ooh, she says they're bold prints! Oh, I already love the first one. Oh my goodness gracious. This fabric is so 70s polyester, it's not even funny. And it's already a really cute little house dress. So you can see this fabric on this is just bold blue, purple, this black and white check, and it's a lot of fabric, which is going to be really good for a thrift flip, especially when I have no idea what I'm doing. But I love just the detail on this. The check behind the floral is super fun, and maybe I can do something with these big bold designs on the sleeves, but I'm already such a big fan of this square neckline and the sleeve that I might try to keep some of this detail, but we will see once I pull out the rest of the fabrics to see what I'm going to go for, because I'm already really excited and inspired by this one. So amazing job, Tiffany. Let's see the next piece. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be super cute. Okay, yes. Okay, so cute. So these are some stretchy checked pants, and I love the weight of this fabric. So this is very thick fabric, but it's really stretchy. So it's a really good like trouser material almost, but the check on this is just so good. And once I pair it with that other fabric, it's just the perfect combo and already pulls out some of those black and whites. I'm a little scared because I've actually never flipped pants before, at least not pants like this. Usually I do like the flowy kind of crazy stuff, so trousers are a whole new ball game for me. So I love that this is already a really fun challenge. So these are the 2 pieces that I'm working with today. Tiffany, amazing job. I already kind of see maybe like a bra top and some shorts and an overshirt with this other piece, but I'm gonna take a second to just go through my Pinterest, see what I can be inspired by, see what this fabric kind of does in my brain, and I'll be back in just a minute with some ideas for a flip. So let's get inspired. Okay, so I spent maybe 20-30 minutes trying to figure out what I was gonna do, looking through my Pinterest and finding some inspiration, and I think I have a really incredible idea for both of these pieces. So I kind of like the idea of mixing them together and maybe making like a sort of patchworky look, and so I'm super inspired by these kinds of images. Yes, they're very different, but I'm sort of going for like this look with the two-piece bralette top for these pants. I think these pants, since they're stiff, would be a great material to make a little like fitted, kind of corseted bra top, but not like lace-up corseted. Maybe that might be a cute back detail actually. So maybe that, and doing a little bra top, but then using this for details like straps or a tie back, whatever that might be, and then making a really fabulous skirt out of this, maybe with extra waistband from these pants, and making it very fitted, slitted, but then to use the rest of this fabric, make a really pretty little puffy cropped top. I love the little tube top pieces that are all elastic and comfy, but I think that this will make really beautiful big puffy sleeves, and then once you layer them all together, it'll be a really cute outfit that just has touches of the other piece, and I think it'll be perfect. So we are going to jump in and start messing with these pieces. I'm going to take you step by step to show you what I'm doing, and hopefully it'll turn out as magnificent as I think. So let's get started. So we are kicking this thrift flip off with a top that I've never made before, and so I wanted to draft my own pattern, and so I'm taking measurements for this kind of deep V triangle tank top. You'll see it in a second, but basically I'm taking my measurement around my here waist, and then my bust width, and then the shoulder width, and the full length from shoulder to bust, which then I created the pattern on some white craft paper by using all the measurements I just took and a relatively rough design to draw out one side of the bust piece. When drafting a pattern like this, I like to go ahead and add the seam allowances into the actual sketch just to make sure that I don't forget to do it. So once I have this piece completely sketched out, I can take it to my fabric and start cutting. So the first step for this is to take off this waistband, and I want to do this very carefully because I'm going to use this waistband as the waistband on the shirt that the two triangles will attach to, because it's the exact composition that a waistband needs to be. So I'm just going to reuse that. Now that the waistband's cut off, I can use the rest of the fabric to make the bust pieces, and so I have my piece cut out with the dart marked on the bottom, and I'm going to flip my pants inside out so the fabric is face to face, and lay this piece of paper that's my pattern flat on top and cut around the edge of it. And I can cut close to the edge because I already put the seam allowances in here, but if you didn't, leave about ½ an inch. After repeating the process on the other leg of the pants, I now have 4 triangle pieces that are 2 sets for these busts, and so here I'm marking out where I'm going to do those seams, just down the center and under the armpit seam. So once those seams are sewn down, I am flipping the pieces inside out, and you can see this top already sort of forming, and I'm going to take those to my iron to get them nice and flat so I can put the dart in the bust. So to make the dart, I'm taking my measuring tape and measuring 3 inches in from the center. That's just where I wanted my dart to be, and once I have that spot marked, I'm taking about 1 inch up, with 3 inches being the center point, so there's ½ an inch on either side, and sewing the seam at an angle so that it makes a perfect little dart like this. So now we can start building this top since we have the top pieces done. So I'm taking that waistband from the pants that I took earlier and laying it completely flat because I'm going to sew the 2 faces of the fabric on the bust to the face of the waistband. So once the bust pieces are laid out accordingly, I am pinning those to the front and then taking that to my machine to sew 1 straight seam down the front. And now for the fun part where we get to do a lot of ironing. I am laying this piece flat on my ironing board and starting to fold over the edges because we're going to stitch the ditch across the front, but then create the rest of it to be a waistband. So I'm folding these pieces over and ironing them flat because those are eventually going to be sewn together to create the waistband. So once all of our pieces are folded down and matched up, I am pinning it all the way across to make sure that it holds its place, and sewing that seam where the pins are, stitching the ditch on the front and sewing across the other side. If you don't know what stitching the ditch is, it's basically just sewing the seam down once it's already been opened from the correct side and kind of hiding it in the ditch of the sewing. So you can see here where I'm doing that, where the bust piece has been connected, and I'm doing it with a lot of concentration. Now that the main portion of this top is done, I'm now going to do the straps and a little ribbon to tie it shut in the back. And so I cut my other piece of fabric just a little bit, but we'll come back to it later. So I'm making a tube and sewing up the side seam, flipping those inside out, and those are going to be my straps. So now I can attach them to the top by sewing them into the shoulder strap part, and once those are attached to those shoulders, I'm going to pin them in the back to where I want them to hit, and finishing off the edge of that strap and sewing it down to the back to have a basically finished top. So finishing touches, I am folding in the edges of the waistband and sewing down that seam to make it nice and clean, and then I'm putting 2 buttonholes into this back. This is my favorite way to make a cute and easy closure, because then I just take a ribbon and tie the 2
two backs together. So it's really comfortable, really cute. So for the ribbon, I'm taking the other portion of the tube that I sewed earlier and tying it through the back, and this top is done.
Okay, so this is the first shirt and I am just loving it. Very like bra toppy, very summery and fun. And I love that this fabric is so thick and perfect for this, but it makes the darts really cute. It feels almost like a vintagey bra top kind of thing. But what I love the most about it is this cute little bow in the back and these straps. So I wanted to kind of mix mash the fabrics a little bit, and I love that it's kind of like party in the back, not really business in the front, but a little more muted in the front. So this checked fabric made a really great top. I love the little ribbon, and now we're gonna make the skirt so you can see this is a full set and potentially make another top. So let's move on to the next piece and make a little skirt for this adorable set.
Oh, this is going to be so cute. I can't wait. So I'm starting off by measuring on my body where I want the skirt to hit. And so once I have that marked, I'm going to pin it and then lay it completely flat and measure across to make sure I have from both sides how long it actually is, so it's all the same length. And once I have both sides marked, I lay it on my cutting board to match the exact line straight across, and it makes a really easy cut right across the board. So once I have the length where I want it, plus about 2 inches because I'm going to roll down a waistband later, I'm laying this piece flat and measuring my hips to make sure that the elastic waist will come over my hips, and I'm going to take it in about 6 inches on either side. So I'm marking a 3-inch mark on the front of this fabric and pinning all the way down so I can sew both seams on either side to make it fit perfectly. So once it fits, I can then start doing the elastic waistband, and so I'm taking it to my iron and folding about 1/2 inch down and then about 3/4 of an inch down because the elastic I'm using is 1/2 inch. So once I have that pocket for the elastic iron flat, I'm going to sew that seam all the way around the skirt, leaving one small gap where I can do the elastic thing we always do. So get your safety pin and attach your elastic on one end, and then I always pin the other end to the skirt so it doesn't end up falling all the way through the fabric, and then just scrunch on around until the elastic comes out the other side, and then sew the 2 ends of the elastic together, sew down the pocket that you left open for the elastic, and this skirt is completely done.
This is really adorable together. Love, again, the back. The little ties on it make it so cute with this little matching skirt, and it really brings out kind of the fun flirtiness. And I also love the little checks in here. So even like a turtleneck under this little bra top. So I love the possibilities of layering and the fun, but then this skirt is just a really great piece, and though it was super simple to make, it's just those simple things that I wear all the time. So I am loving this little combo. I'm gonna see if I have enough fabric for the next piece. Hopefully I do, because I kind of want a piece to layer underneath this bra top, so we'll see what happens. Let's do it. For this next one, this is the kind of piece that I'm thinking, but I really only have just like some scrap pieces left, but there's enough fabric, I think, if I can mess with it, to make something really cool. So in going after this kind of look with that puppy sleeve, the bodice of it is really just a tube. So I'm thinking I could take these scraps and patchwork something, and then I have another piece over here that would be perfect to just make some sleeves out of. I've never tried this before, but I think it'll be really cool with these fabrics too. So we're just gonna try it and see what we can come up with. So let's make another top for this adorable little outfit.
So I am taking that large piece of fabric that I was going to use for just the sleeves, and I actually need more squares than I think to make this little patchwork look, and so I'm taking half of it and I'm going to make it into the squares for the purple portion of the fabric. So I'm measuring out 3 inches on either side, trimming off the excess fabric and making as many squares as I can, basically. So using my mat to measure 3 inches, I am cutting the strips first, and then once I have a few strips, I'm laying those out and cutting the squares squares out of them. So each square is 3 by 3, and I had about 20 squares from this fabric when I was done. So then I repeated the exact same process with the black and white check fabric, which was a little bit trickier because I had more scrap pieces and not so many large pieces. And so I found as many squares as I could and got about 26 out of this one. And since I didn't know how many squares I needed, I just took as many as I could get and ended up using all of them. After I had them all cut out, I messed with the design for a little bit just to make sure it would turn out how I wanted it to. And then begins all of the sewing of these tiny scraps together. Then it all got too intense and I forgot to take a video, so here's a still image of this piece where I sewed all of the squares together in a vertical line. And I made 4 of these rows, making sure that they alternated correctly between the checks and the flowers so it would be patchworked the way I wanted it to. Here I'm showing you where I sewed to connect these pieces together and made one very large panel of all of this patchwork. I did run out of floral pieces, but had plenty of black check pieces to make the 2 side panels that would be the connectors on the back. So once I had this done and ironed flat, I started to fold up the edges to make the bodice tube. So basically I'm just doing the rolled hem on the top and the bottom. So folding it a half an inch, ironing it down, sewing it down. And here you can see the hemmed edges. I also hemmed the sides since I'm going to put some buttons in there, so those needed to be finished off. So now that all of that is finished, I can start on the puff sleeve. To make the puff sleeve, I'm taking the half of the fabric that I didn't turn into squares and cutting that in half the long way, so I'll have a nice puffy sleeve. And then doing the same rolled hem on both sides with 3/4 inches of space so that I can put the 1/2 inch elastic into both sides. And then connecting the 2 ends of both pieces to each other to make a nice tube for the sleeve. Once the tube for the shoulder and the edge of the sleeve are done, I can use the same technique as I did earlier with my elastic to push the 10-inch piece for the shoulder and the 8-inch piece through the edge of the sleeve. Once that elastic is through on all of the pieces, I'm going to close off the edges that I left open and then create 3 separate buttonholes on one side of the button placket at the back to make the closure. So once I have those buttonholes done and I've seam ripped the center of them open, I can attach the buttons with a needle and thread and these 3 adorable little buttons. So I'm just matching up where my holes were on the other side, attaching those buttons, and this piece is completely done.
This turned out so much cuter than I expected. I really had no idea where this patchwork was gonna go with it, but how cute is that with the little checks in it, the purple flowers, with this skirt? I just think it's such a cute set, and I can't really believe that it's made out of scraps. So of course I absolutely love what I created, but let's see what Tiffany thought in a little Zoom call reveal.
Hi!
Hey! Oh my gosh, how are you?
I'm so well, how are you?
Good! It's so nice to officially kind of face-to-face meet you.
Yay!
I know, I'm so excited.
Me too.
So Tiffany, will you remind people what you sent me?
Yes, so I sent you a house dress that was like blue and purple floral print, and I don't know, when I saw it I just thought of you immediately. I felt like that was something you would like.
Oh yeah.
And then I wanted to throw in a little challenge item, but not too challenging, because like in the background of that floral there was like a check print,
yes,
like a black and white check print.
Yeah.
So then I also found a pair of like check pants that were that color to send to you. So
love it.
yeah, those are the 2 things I sent. Okay, I'm so excited to see what you made. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, it's so cute. I love the back, like where you mix the patterns in the back. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Okay, wait, there's one more, right?
Yes, so I made 2 separate tops because I had enough fabric.
What? Oh my god. I am dead. That top. I have no words. That is, oh my gosh. I love that you did the patchwork that way. It's so cute. I did not imagine that at all. It looks so good. I'm so impressed. It looks so cute.
Thank you. It was so much fun. I had an absolute blast doing it.
Yeah, me too. Addie, thank you so much for doing this. I honestly, it's been like a dream to like do this collaboration with you. I'm just so excited that we got to do this. And yeah, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much too. It was just such a fun challenge, and this was just I want to do thrift flips like this forever now. Like, this is the way I want to do them. So thank you for introducing me to
You're
it.
gonna set one up for like in
Yes,
10 months.
absolutely, yes. These will be my forever thrift flips.
Amazing.
Bye, thank you. Oh, I love that Tiffany loved it. It was such a fun flip to do. Go check out her flip to see the pieces I sent her and what magic she created with them. And thanks for joining me for this super fun thrift flip challenge. Let me know what you think of these flips in the comments below. I will see you next week. You are well loved. Bye.